Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new Godfest exclusive Aten or Aten, and this is a Godfest exclusive that is being released as part of the New Year's Godfest, and Aten is unique because he comes with 8 Killer Awakenings and nothing else. So he has the potential to deal blisteringly high damage to virtually any encounter in the game, but it's going to be situational for the reasons I'm going to explain below. So, as an overview, Aten is a god who has 5,000 health, 605 attack, and 373 recovery. So a respectable 745 weighted stats. Now, he has God, Dragon, Devil, Machine, Balance, Attacker, Physical, and Healer Killer Awakenings. So he essentially can deal massive amounts of damage to any spawn that you can dream of.
Fantastic follower alert.
And
wow!
He has an active skill which generates Fire, Water, Wood, Light, Dark Hearts, and Jammer Orbs on only a 5-turn cooldown. So this is a low base cooldown as well as a Dark Kali style board refresh that makes Jammer Orbs. And his leader skill is largely irrelevant in the sense that it only provides 5 times damage for matching 5 colors, but the board does become 7x6, so maybe you could find a niche usage for it there. But a 25 times attack leader is not that impressive, even with Killer Awakenings, because all your subs are going to hit like a limp piece of paper. So, my impressions of Aten are that he has 8 Killer Awakenings, like, that's impressive, and his low base attack is to compensate for the fact that he has 8. Because the way Killer Awakenings work is that each Killer Awakening deals 3 times damage against that particular type. So say the encounter was a god type, you would do 3 times damage. So that 605 would become 1815. More respectable at that point. However, these Killer Awakenings actually stack on top of each other because, say the boss is a god dragon, like basically a boss is a god dragon, which it is possible, you are going to be dealing 9 times damage to that encounter. So now that 600 base attack becomes 9 times greater, so that is 5,445, I think. Like, it's ramping up very quickly at this point. Furthermore, there are actually a lot of encounters, especially like reincarnated evolutions or certain bosses, like Zerog Infinity, for instance, who have 3 typings. So you're dealing 27 times damage to them. So basically, most bosses in the game have at least 2 typings. Like, it's pretty standard at this point in time that most things you fight have 2 typings. So he's always going to be dealing 9 times damage. So he's going to be your hardest hitting card no matter what. Furthermore, if they have triple typing, you're going to be dealing 27 times. And it's going to do an absurd amount of damage. Like, for instance, like Zerog Infinity as an example, he has a 75% damage reduction shield. You're going to kind of laugh at that because you're dealing 27 times to it plus your leader skill. So, for perspective, let's say you are playing Aten on a Miru team. Not an unusual choice because it is at least light typing. And Miru has 59 times attack. So Aten with against, say, a God Dragon encounter will be doing 533 times attack against them. If they have triple typing, it's 1,600 times attack. So you can see why he's going to be dealing so much damage because you have your leader skills multiplier and then the Killer Awakenings on top of it. So you're going to do an absurd amount of damage against any boss in the game. And one thing, that is pretty amazing. So one thing you do have to keep in mind is that because he has 8 Killer Awakenings and nothing else, your team is going to be lacking utility. You may not have many skill boosts, skill bind resist, time extends. So when you're using him as a sub, you just be conscious of what you're putting on your team just because you are lacking all that utility, and just stacking lots of Atens is not ideal. To be fair, it's a 6-star Godfest exclusive, so you may not be able to roll it easily anyways. So when not to use Aten. So because he has such potential to deal massive amounts of damage, he is going to be a liability against bosses with damage absorption mechanics. Because Aten is going to be dealing so much more damage against that particular encounter, you are going to have issues because he will always be healing the boss when the rest of your team is unable to, well, while the rest of your team is dealing a reasonable amount of damage, he's always going to heal it. So that is a problem, so you cannot bring him into any dungeon with an absorption mechanic. If it's a damage void, you may get away with it a bit more easily because the damage is simply voided. But if it's an absorption, he's going to be healing the boss to full health, and you're never, ever going to kill it. And that is a big problem because it's going to dramatically cut down on the dungeons he can be brought into, because you have to know exactly what you're encountering. You have to know exactly who's going to spawn, and you have to make sure none of them have that absorption mechanic. So he won't be able to be used in arena-style content because you're simply going to be doing too much damage and healing the bosses. So you're going to be regulated to, say, like Special Descend Rush, Super Ultimate Dragon Rush, like those type of dungeons where you know the spawns are and they don't have absorption mechanics, so you are able to deal an appropriate amount of damage, kill them, and be on your merry little way. So that is definitely putting a damper on it, so he can only be used in those niche situations. Furthermore, he actually is unable to kill pre-draws because pre-draws do not have any of those 8 typings that was listed. So Aten is actually going to be doing the same amount of damage, or actually significantly less because of low base attack against those cards, so you still need to bring some sort of way to overcome them. You may just simply inherit something over top of Aten so that he can still be used, say, in Rogue Descents. But the point being is he can't kill pre-draws, so it's like you have to use an active on those anyways. But overall, it is an interesting card because you do have the potential to do, like I said, massive damage. So, in conclusion, he is a very unique character for Puzzle and Dragons. He has 8 Killer Awakenings, so that is unprecedented. Nothing else is going to have this much flexibility in terms of killing everything. Like, you could easily rename Aten into I Hate Everyone, because he essentially kills everything. So you only can use him in situations where you know the spawns, so don't bring him into dungeons where the spawns have a chance to have absorption mechanics. So he does have limitations, which is unfortunate. Like, you can't turn off Killer Awakenings mid-dungeon, unfortunately. So let me know what you think about Aten. Like, where would you use him if you were able to roll him? Like, what teams would you use him on, and what dungeons would you be bringing him into? Let me know those in the comments below, and this article will be linked in the YouTube description. So hopefully you have a Mantastic evening. I will be posting my Godfest review for the 5 times New Year event, so stay tuned to that. And happy puzzling!